In this episode, we're going to be talking about reference. Let's take a look. Hello guys, welcome to this week's episode. My name is Jose Vega. I'm a concept artist at adajosevega.com, and in this channel I like to share with you guys my tips and tricks for Photoshop in digital painting. Now this week's episode is all about reference. Now reference is a huge part and very important part in the process of making a concept art or an illustration. And so I'm going to be showing you guys the way I think about reference and the tools that I use when I'm looking up for reference. So let's check it out. Okay guys, welcome to this episode about referencing, and this is going to be a fairly quick episode since we're just going to talk about this topic. And I just want to go real simple with this and give you some ideas of the things that I do. And the first thing that I want to show you is an example here of a reference pack here. And what I like to do personally, and this changes with every artist, so you have to figure out your own way of working your own pieces and references. So what I think the most important thing here is to actually find reference and gather your references and have them always available as you work in the project. I think that's like the main thing that I think is the most important. How you do it and the methods that you use is really up to you, but I can only share my way of doing it, just to give you some ideas and the different tools that I use for it. So this is a very simple, just a reference pack that I did in Photoshop for one project that I'm gonna be working on. And what I like to do is have about 3 to 5 different pictures that are gonna be my main reference of the main things that I'm gonna have in my environment, and have them as big as I can. You can see them here on the left that I'm gonna have pretty big structures, kind of like industrial type structures, very monolithic, simple, basic shape structures. And the project is gonna be based kind of like underground. So I have some cave, earth tone environment, and a little bit of industrial type architecture as well. And what I like to have is also make notes about what's the project about. So you can see here that I have some description about the project, any material frequency about the projects as well. So here I have a 60% some fantasy. So the project is going to be a mix of fantasy and sci-fi type of environment, and I want to mix a little bit of the industrial with the fantasy design into the environment. So these are just some examples of the things that you could have in your reference pack. Besides just pictures, you have like materials, different materials that you're gonna have, the colors, shapes, notes, things that you wanna have in your environment. And this is for me, this is very, very helpful because I always keep it on the side, and every time I'm working on it, I have it available to kind of go back to it and review the things that I need to get done, or if I have any issues with the design or materials or anything like that. And also I like to have just a bunch of pictures for support pictures, what I call support pictures. It's just more of the same things, but just different approaches. So you're gonna see here a lot of industrial type buildings and details, and some of the stuff that I'm already thinking of building in my scene. So this is just an example of how I approach my references. Now, mainly I'm gonna be concentrating on my left here, my left images here, because something that I don't wanna do is have too many references that is gonna get my designs all over the place and make me confused a little bit. So I try to keep as little as possible in terms of how many images I'm gonna concentrate on, and then from there I can build secondary and not so important things out of my support images down here. Now I do have more references here, like here on my folder I have a lot more references, and what I like to do is, or the way I like to think about it is that I want to separate my references into types of reference. And one type is going to be my inspirational reference. I'm just going to call it inspirational. And it's things like for example, this building here and this building and this concepts that I previously made a way back that I'm going to be rebuilding from. And some of these images are inspirational. And that pretty much means that it's going to inspire me to do my take on that type of design or look. And it's just pretty much for that, for inspiration. Now, the other type of reference is my actual practical reference, which is what I'm going to be using for actually texturing in my scene or photo bashing in my scene. And for example, I could use this type of picture reference to use it as a texture for my scene. And I'm actually going to import it into my scene or something like this. For example, this actual texture of metal, I could actually use it inside my scene. So that's how I like to think about text. So I'm looking for both types of reference, inspirational and practical or texture to actually use it in my scene. This is another texture that I can use inside my scene. So that's how I like to think about texture. Now again, every artist does it differently, and it's just up to you to kind of figure out the way that you want to do it. So how can I find this type of references? So this is super. It sounds simple and it's actually pretty easy, but let me show you here some of the places that I go to find these references. The first one is pretty much Google. It's as simple as that. And you just type whatever you want to search for, and then you just spend some time and look for it and start saving pictures out of here. So this is the most common one. Another website is textures or textures.com, and you can get textures and images out of here for free. You do have a limited amount if you don't have a premium account, but if you have a regular account, you can download a couple of images per day out of this site, and it's great. Another site is environment textures, environment slash dash textures.com. Here you do have to pay, but they have a bunch of great images as well. You can see here all the different types of pictures that they have for you to find and purchase. And the other one is photobash.org, and this is another one that you do have to pay out of Gumroad. The guys are Photobash, and this is a great site because they have it really nice, organized, and these are actually artists, so they take their pictures based on their needs as well. So this is great, and this is another site that you can get really nice high-res pictures out of very low price. So yeah, so these are the main places that I get my reference from, or pictures. Now there is a free software called PureRef, and this is another thing that I want to cover in this episode because this is a great tool for setting up your reference and all that. If you don't want to do something like this, you can do something a little bit more simple with this software. And pretty much you go to pureref.com. Just download the software, it's free again. And when you open it, you're gonna get this square here. You're gonna see it here. And what you're gonna do is, let's say you save already all your references, and let's just say this is all gonna be your reference for the project that you're gonna work on. So I can grab all these pictures and I can just drag them in here and wait for them to load the images. Now that all the images are up, I'm gonna use my middle mouse button to kind of pan here, and to scroll I can just to zoom in I can just scroll and in and out to zoom in, and it's pretty cool because it kind of organizes all my pictures there, and I can actually I can, if I want to separate some of these pictures, like I can just grab them by clicking here and move them around and kind of organize them in the way I want. And if I want to concentrate on one picture, say I want some details here, I can just double click and it zooms in into that picture, right? I can zoom out, zoom into this one. And if I right click on it, then I have all these different options here. I can arrange them in by name, or save this setup with these pictures here as a file, and then I can open it again. It opens just like this. So this is a very useful tool to kind of have all your reference in one place, and you can scroll and watch them as you work. So now the main thing is, when you're doing your sketches and your designs, to actually stick to your reference pack here. And sometimes I go back and add notes to this, or add different shapes as I design as I'm working on the actual pieces that I'm going to be working on. So, but the main thing is to use this as your guide to do your designs and sketches and all that. And I'm gonna be making future episodes, making pieces using this reference for the project that I'm working on. So you're gonna be able to see how I apply this reference onto the sketches and pieces that I'm gonna be creating. All right. So that's it about references. Hope this helps you guys in any way, and I'll see you guys. Okay, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Now, again, reference is super important, so I really hope that you guys got something out of it. And if you have any comments or questions about this week's episode or any other episodes, make sure you leave that in the comment section below so I can actually address it. And if you like the content, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you guys on the next one.